The second leg of the budget session of Parliament concluded today with both houses adjourning sine die. The last 20-odd days have seen frequent adjournments without any business having been transacted. Ruchi Bhatia joins in with the latest on another day, and clearly it's the same story playing out, Ruchi, in Parliament.
On the final day of the Lok Sabha, it took less than 15 minutes for Speaker Sumitra Mahajan to adjourn the House sine die, and following that even the Rajya Sabha was adjourned categorically, both the houses being adjourned sine die for the second half of the budget session. No work being done, barely any bills being transacted, and in total 115 hours in Lok Sabha being wasted, almost 111 hours in the Rajya Sabha being wasted, and 170 crores of taxpayers' money at stake. Clearly, politics has taken the better of economics. Remember, there were four no confidence motions that were put forth by various parties. No discussion really taking place on that as well. As far as TDP and YSR Congress are concerned, the regional parties really, pushed their regional agenda. The TDP and the YSR Congress both wanted a special status for Andhra Pradesh. As far as AIADMK is concerned, and DMK, they wanted a special board to be set up for Kaveri board management. So the regional issues really took the center stage. As far as the key bills that were at stake this time around, the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill could not be taken up. Key amendments to the Motor Vehicles Act could not be taken up, and most importantly, the budget, the union budget, the finance bill was passed with no discussion this time around. In fact, it is also important to note that the Triple Talaq bill, one of the key bills that the government wants to push, was also not taken up this time around. And while the government has been saying that, this is because of the opposition parties, clearly the blame game has begun. The BJP MPs now even saying that they will not be taking any salary for the next 23 days, and they will be observing a fast on April 12th. But it goes on to show that there is no end to the impasse between the opposition as well as the government. And in the run-up to 2019 elections, we can really see the political atmosphere vitiating and no work being done on the economic front at all.
Thanks for that. In fact, Ruchi Bhatia caught up with Shashi Tharoor on what is likely to be the next strategy for the Congress on the banking scam, the Telangana issue, as well as the outlook for the Karnataka elections. Listen in.
The second half of the budget session has been a complete washout. To talk about that, I am in conversation with Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Sir, many thanks for talking to us. Every minute where the parliament does not function, it costs the exchequer close to 2 lakh rupees. That's a huge amount, given the fact that our country is dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of problems. As a member of the All India Professional Congress, talk to us about who is really responsible when politics takes the better of economics?
First of all, this is a national disgrace. What has happened is absolutely unacceptable and shameful. And you're right, it's costing the nation large sums of money just to keep Parliament open and functioning, the staff, the workers, the production of papers, everything else. So it's really costing a colossal amount of money. We have created a culture in the last 10 or 15 years in which disruption is considered, in the words of the present ruling party's ministers, a legitimate form of parliamentary performance. Now, to my mind, that culture was wrong when the BJP was doing it in the opposition. It's wrong today when the ADMK is doing it. It'll be wrong tomorrow if anybody else does it. We really need to fix that. But what was particularly reprehensible in this particular episode was that the ruling party was getting its friends to disrupt Parliament so it didn't have to face the discomfort of debate. That is what is absolutely shocking. I don't think we've ever seen this in the history of our Parliament. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi was telling me in 20 years in Parliament she's never seen anything like this, where it is not the opposition that is agitating in the well of the Lok Sabha. It is initially parties that were part of the ruling coalition, the NDA, subsequently a party that is widely considered a partner of the BJP, namely the ADMK. For the last 18 days, culminating in today's complete washout of a closure, we had nothing but the ADMK, no one but the ADMK in the well of the House, with everybody else sitting in their seats trying to have a debate on a vote of no confidence. And the government brazenly blaming the opposition for something that they had engineered themselves.
But, in the run up to 2019 elections, do you believe that this is going to be the norm in the upcoming parliament sessions as well? We may see situations like this arising, and given the fact that so many important bills could not really be taken up, the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill, the Triple Talaq Bill, the amendments to the Motor Vehicle Act, even the most important finance bill, I mean, that got passed with no without debate, without discussion. Do you believe this is going to be the norm going forward ahead of 2019 elections?
I certainly hope not, because if it is the norm going forward, we may as well scrap Parliament, because the entire purpose of Parliament is deliberative discussion. That's the substance of democracy, is that we discuss something in detail, we argue the points, we place, the whole argument for actually having television coverage of Parliament was to place before the nation what was being said in the House. And it's interesting, people do watch it. But now that all that's happening as a result of television coverage is the screaming and shouting, I just don't know what the purpose of this is going to be. To my mind, this cannot afford to become the norm. I think the government should actually call all the party leaders together and make a solemn commitment to each other that whoever is in power, whoever is in the opposition, this should never be allowed to happen.
While you are saying that the government should reach out to the opposition parties, we have seen that at least, not the government, but the Rajya Sabha chairman, even the Lok Sabha chairman, they called for a discussion with all the parties. What was the rationale behind the impasse? What was it? What was the main reason that, all the political parties could not come to a consensus? So at least let the business of the House continue.
Well, I can't speak for the Rajya Sabha since I don't sit in it. But in the Lok Sabha, there is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that the opposition wanted a discussion. We know we'll lose the vote because the BJP has a crushing majority in the Lok Sabha. But we felt that this was an opportunity to lay before the nation a long charge sheet, an indictment, as it were, of the failures of this government across